Hey YouTube, this is a Prophecies update. Those tend to get political. The Lucifer series is not a political channel. We are happy for the democracies of the world to get together and for people to meet in the middle and do it that way. I consider human beings to be very reactive, very reflexive, and certainly no one out there, including myself, has all the answers for all the problems. And I really would advise you not to trust someone who has all the answers to all the problems, because that is someone who is either lying to you or is deluded. But the world is there, and it's our responsibility, and it's best for us all to get along, so it's nice to meet in the middle. Unfortunately, the middle in the United States is not a very honest middle. In fact, it's full of politicians who are stuffing their pockets from the big money. So that's why I'm with Move to Amend. That's an organization that wants to amend the Constitution in response to the Supreme Court's decision to treat corporations like human beings with the rights of, same individual rights as humans, okay, as citizens. They can contribute any amount of money they want to political ads. It rolled back 50 years of campaign finance legislation right there. It was incredible. So anyways, I'm with Move to Amend. I'm also with Liberty Tree, that's behind a lot of the occupation thing, at least in New York. I've been with Liberty Tree for a year, so truth and disclosure, I should admit that to you all. I know there's some of you out there who don't like Liberty Tree, or even if you've never heard of it, if you did hear of it, you'd not approve of them, and you probably don't like a lot of what you hear about the occupation people. I'm not for anyone preventing anyone from going to their bank, for crying out loud, and I'm not for blocking traffic for ordinary working people trying to get back and forth from work. I mean, no way, give me a break. But that's just a minority of protesters who do that. The overwhelming majority want to occupy the big institutions, make a statement, grab media attention, even if it means breaking minor little laws, okay? And they've been met with pepper spray, batons, and tear gas. In California, a veteran was put in the hospital in Oakland early on, and recently a bunch of students just sitting on the sidewalk got sprayed by a cop with pepper spray. You've probably seen this on the news if you're watching. And he's just going up and down, just spraying these kids who are just trying to shield themselves. They're just sitting there. Police should use force only in ratio to any aggression enacted against them. I mean, people sitting on a sidewalk and you're just spraying them like you're spraying the roses. What is that? Okay. Now, as long as the dissatisfaction and unrest out there throughout the world is met with this, you can be assured that the masses are going to get more and more radicalized. I talked about this in Prophecies of Lucifer 1. This is the beginning of it. It's not anywhere near the radicalization that I'm talking about in Prophecies 1, but this is the beginning. It won't be as radicalized in the United States as it's going to be in parts of Europe, but it is coming, and this is the beginning, okay? Now today, Monday, November 21st, 2011, the so-called Super Committee in Congress came up zip. They were supposed to do the final plan for deficit reduction over the next 10 years. They were hanging there under the threat of automatic spending cuts or freezes come 2013. So they were draconian cuts meant to be very painful to both sides of the political aisle. That was supposed to goad the Super Committee into coming up with a coherent and fair plan, but which they failed to do. Okay, completely failed to do. Obama has surprised me. He's come forward and he's saying that the triggers for 2013 will remain in place. He will veto any attempt to overturn the triggers. Okay, that's being a leader, and you don't see that every day with Obama. And so I'm satisfied by his position on that. He's going to use this as a political football. I had lost all confidence in Obama because he put a very cynical moderate Democrat, Max Baucus, on the Super Committee, and everyone saw Max Baucus as likely to just side with the the 6 Republicans on the committee, being the one Democrat to vote with them, and the Republicans getting their way. Okay, no taxes on the rich and the whole burden of deficit reduction on the rest of us. Okay, that didn't happen. If Moody's does what Standard & Poor's did earlier and downgrades the credit of the United States over this, it's not going to be fair. If Obama keeps the triggers in place, then the promised savings are going to be there. And I mean, if he's threatened to veto any attempt to overturn the trigger, then Moody's has nothing to complain about one way or another. So if they do anything weird, it's because they've got their own agenda. And ask anybody in Europe about Moody's and how they operate. It often has nothing to do with the creditworthiness of the states or institutions that they downgrade. Okay, they're a very corrupt, even criminal organization. Okay, worse than Standard & Poor's. Now, in Prophecies 2 and Prophecies 7 and in Prophecies 8, I talked about the strong possibility of a serious assassination attempt against the President of the United States. And I've wavered on that. I've had my doubts, primarily because I really felt and saw Obama as getting a second term. I saw Biden finishing that term under very trying international circumstances. And I assumed that this was going to happen because the economy would be better. Presidents don't get reelected unless the economy is better. This is the only this president's sitting on close to 9% unemployment. No, nobody gets reelected with those kind of numbers. No way. But this one has played it smart throughout, and it looks like because the Republican Party is in such shambles, which I discussed in Prophecies 5, because it's in such shambles, Obama could stand to win, or at least give them a good run for their money. And the more it looks like he could win, the more the lunatics who think the Tea Party is this big revolution they've got going, the more embittered they're going to become, the more they're going to scream about conspiracy, the more they're going to say it's the election's being stolen, and the more they're going to want Obama dead. I don't see Obama necessarily dying. There is no fate he could survive, but if he does die, he will die with innocent bystanders falling beside him, because this is a plot that doesn't care about innocent bystanders one way or another. Okay, these folks are crazy, and they are right wingers. It's not some government conspiracy. It's not Israel. It's the radical right in the United States. It's the Timothy McVeigh kind of mentality, right? Racist, possibly neo-Nazi or neo-Nazi influenced.